Bloodborne, the board game. I went all in on the Kickstarter for this, received the game about 3 weeks ago, and then found I couldn't find any tutorial gameplay videos that helped me learn how to play it, so I thought, right, I'll push through the rules and try and work out how to play it, and I'll get a video out myself. I hope that this is useful to people. If you like it, you know what to do. If you don't like it, then do me a favour, put a comment in, explain what it is you don't like, or tell me what you would like me to do different, and who knows, maybe in the next video I'll be able to make it something you enjoy more. Terrific tray in this game. It's one of the few games I've received that actually comes with something useful for organising. So basically you can get each of your sort of campaigns with the various chapters in here. The hand weapons, there isn't a perfect slot for these, so I've just basically put them on top, but you've got your 4 sets there of campaigns, you've got your hand weapons, you've got your cards. Now the way I've split the cards is very simple as well. I've got my basic skill cards in the first slot, so this is the cards that you're going to use to make your initial hunter's deck, and they're easy to identify because they all say basic. So I have those cards in that first one. Then in the next one, which is slightly deeper, I have the upgrade versions, and again these look identical except that they don't say basic in the top part there. See, that one says cheap shot. So those fit really nicely in the next compartment there for the small cards. And then in this last compartment, this I actually split into several things. We'll just spend a moment having a quick look at those. In your small cards, you're going to find your enemy action cards. Only 6 of them, so I keep those on top, nice and easy to find. I have then split all of the rune cards out because you tend to get these as you accomplish goals during the game. So there's no point shuffling them or mixing them up. You want to be able to find them as easily as you can. So I put all of those items, etc., including things like bloodstone shards, hand lanterns, everything like that, I put in the next stack. And then underneath it, so it's dead easy to find, you've got your consumables, which I've given a good shuffle before I started. So all 3 of those fit nicely in the last slot down here of the case. The way I've used the rest, let's just have a look under here. Your blood goes underneath. It seemed like the obvious choice, the only place I could fit it. You've got your player aid, and then you've got all of your enemy cards there. And then again, really nice this, all of the tokens, your door fogs, your chests, survivors, everything all fits really nicely in these little compartments. It's the best game I've come across so far for this kind of setup. I have had to put some of the special monster activation cards into one of these memory slots for now, but obviously as I start playing the game, and if you're playing it with 4 people, or if you do what I do, which is I've played it through with 1 hero character, I played it through with this chap first, but then if I played it the second time through with the guy with the axe, and I like to keep track of the progress by using these memory slots for each of the 2. Doesn't matter today, I've reset everything, so we'll start from scratch. Right, so playing the game, dead easy. First things first, pick your character. I've decided to pick this guy, the saw cleaver wielding guy. I think he's pretty cool, but the main reason I decided to go with him is that he has a very fast attack, as you can see with the 3 arrows. He has a medium attack with the 2 arrows, and then he has a slow attack with the 1 arrow. And I thought that gives you a nice mix, and it's sort of maybe a good character to start with for that reason. You see on the other side you can switch to quick, medium. I found this quite useful. Certainly I've enjoyed playing this guy for I think 2 rounds through I've played with him. So for this I'm going to pick him, and we're just going to pick 1 character because I'm going to do this as a proper solo playthrough. Next we have to create his hunter deck. This is pretty straightforward. Let me just clear some space. Pretty straightforward. Remember I showed you the basic cards before. Every hunter starts with 3 of each of the 4 different types of cards. So you've got this type here with the teardrop symbol, call it. This one's with the hand, the arm, and then the last one, the heart. Now I've already put his cards on the top because they're all the same. So he's got his 3 basic heart cards, 3 basic hand, 3 basics with the teardrop, and 3 basics with the arm. So there's nothing special really about that. Every hunter starts with the same thing, and obviously you want to give them a good shuffle. You don't want to know what's coming next. And then really, if you're only playing solo games, most of these are never going to see the light of day, so they're just going to go back in the case. Okay, so what I've done is set the board up pretty much how you would set it up, I think, for any chapter, any expansion, anything that you need. This is before we've really started the detail of that chapter, but it's a basic sort of, you're going to need this every time. So I like to have this card close at hand. Okay, we're going to take the tracker for keeping track of time. We're just going to stick that at the beginning. Now we've got the campaign or chapters that we're going to be working through here. We've got our consumables, which we don't need very often, so we're just keeping those out of the way up here. We've got our runes and other special items there. I've found it useful to just keep the enemy actions somewhere handy but out of the way, so I just put those there. Little pile of blood tokens. We don't need all of them, certainly not for this first chapter, and really just 1s and 3s is all you're going to need, certainly to play through the first chapter. Then down here we've got fog tokens, which we use for blocking the doorways as required. 3 blood echo tokens there. I've only put 3 out because as a single player you can never have more than 3 in your blood echoes sort of holding place, so no need to get more than 3 out. I've got a few chests there, then a couple of survivors, and then 3 of the insight tokens. The other item we need to set up at this point is the upgrade. So this upgrade deck has been shuffled well, so we simply turn these over, put them in place here on the upgrade slots, and these will be ready for when our hunter enters the hunter's dream and needs to choose an upgrade. And again, stick those up out of the way. They don't get used very often, so we just want to put them out of the way. I stick them up there at the top of that piece of board, and I try and leave myself as much space as possible for the actual gaming tiles. So with all of those in place, with our hunter deck that we prepared earlier ready, we have our blood tokens there, 6, so we have our blood tokens in place. We have our trick weapon card in place, we have our miniature. The only thing we're missing is the firearm for this character. We simply look for the one with his picture on, which is there. You've got the other characters as well. So we take his firearm, put it there. At this point, there's nothing further for us to do now until we actually have a look at the introduction and get into the game and see which other pieces we're going to need. So we'll do that right now. Now that we've got all of the setup done and we're ready, I can't avoid spoilers to the first chapter. So as long as you understand what you're going to see some of the actions and items and missions from the game. It's the only way, I think, to see it played through and to learn. So as long as you're okay with that, keep watching. Otherwise, now you're going to need to stop. Having said that, there's lots of ways to play through these missions with lots of different choices, so you can still get quite a different experience. And with that said, let's get stuck into the first chapter. This is called The Long Hunt, and as we can see, everyone starts with an introduction. Of the monsters created by the beast plague, the scourge beasts are the most reviled. Once human, these terrible monstrosities are fast, agile and lethal. As of late, more and more of these beasts have begun appearing in central Yharnam, and thus we have been tasked with discovering the source of their increasing numbers, as well as eliminating as many as possible. And I apologise if people pronounce this differently to me, but I just say Yharnam and I'm going to stick with that. So we've read the introduction, a little bit of story there, which I must say is one of my favourite bits about this game. We can put that out of the way, we don't need that now. And what we now look for is the chapters. Got 3 chapters in this sort of campaign, this part. We're obviously after chapter 1, so we can put chapters 2 and 3 out of the way. Chapter 1, missions. So very simple. This is going to start us off with our actual activities, but before we do that, we need to flip it over. It's going to tell us which enemies we need. So this is the final part of setup, ready for the start of the game. You can't do it until you actually have got to this card. So it tells us the enemies we're going to need. So we're going to need to go through our enemy deck, and we're looking for the Hunter's Mob, Huntsman's Minion and the Scourge Beast. Now obviously, having played it 3 times, I've got these cards right at the top. In later chapters there's going to be other challenges, but we don't need those for now. So we put those aside. Now it tells you in the instructions that what you should do now is mix these up. So my eyes are closed, I'm not looking. You should also turn them over. Randomly turn them over because the cards are slightly different on each side. So I've done that. I'll open my eyes, and now that I've done that, we simply transfer these cards over in whatever order you've got them. Again, you should keep that random. And there we go. So that is our enemies now set up. And you'll notice a symbol here. Because we've put these down in the random order, we just mixed them up. These symbols match the symbols on the game tiles, which means, you know, even if you follow the same missions, you may end up with different enemies and different numbers. So it's nice how they've built that in. Okay, so we've set up the enemies. Now we need to actually get the tiles. So obviously this is now where these come into play, the game tiles as I call them. So we need to go through and we need to find each of the name tiles: Courtyard Lamp, Occupied House, Odeon Chapel and Ransacked House. Then this symbol here, hopefully you can see that okay. That symbol just means the number of hunters, so in this case 1, times by 2, which is obviously 2, random cards from what's left. So if you were playing with 3 hunters, that would be 6, and that would be the max. 4 hunters times 2 would be 8, but as it says here, you would never have more than a maximum of 6. We're solo playing, so going to have 2 random tiles. So, simple enough, go through the stack, looking for the named tiles. Anything that's not named, we just put it down randomly. So, Occupied House, that's one of the tiles we needed. Put that over there. Odeon Chapel, that's another one we need. Ransacked House, that's another one we need. Courtyard Lamp, that's another one. So I think that is 4. 1, 2, 3. Yep, that's the 4 that it named. So now we simply flip these over. You know, mix them up a bit, however you want to do it. I'm pretty, you know, these are pretty mixed. I don't know what order they're in from when I pack them away. So we're going to pick 2. There's 1. There's 2. So we now have all of our room tiles, and we're going to turn those over, and again we're going to just mix those up. Some of you may be better at remembering cards, etc. I certainly am not, and I'm not trying to, because obviously I want them to be random. That makes the game more fun. Those are now mixed up, and from our box of goodies we keep this central lamp card separate, because every game starts on the central lamp. This is not one of the 2 random cards obviously, because you might not get it. So this one is always going to be used for starting the game. We put our character on the middle. We double check our card. We've got the 3 enemies set up. Oh, I've also got all the miniatures for those 3 enemies out. So Hunter's Minion, Scourge Beast, and of course the Hunter Mob. Right, got the miniatures close to hand, setup is done. It's time to start the hunt, reveal card 1. Now we have to keep an eye on these 3 activities to check whenever they happen. End a move on the courtyard lamp tile, end a move on the occupied house tile. Note it says tile, not space, so anywhere on that tile. End a move on the ransacked house tile. So as soon as one of those things happens, we're going to need to carry on with the story. I usually put these cards down at the end here. I leave a bit of space there so that there's plenty of room to put those cards away from any board pieces. There we go, away from any board pieces, any cards that I need to turn over or anything else. So, reveal card 1. The Hunt Mission, Source of the Scourge. We must take to the streets of Central Yharnam. The number of scourge beasts grows and we must leave no area unchecked and uncleansed. We should also gather what information we can from the surviving townsfolk. Perhaps they can grant us insight into the cause of this sudden infestation. And again here we've got end a move on the central lamp tile after you have collected at least 2 insight, and then you would reveal card 2. So we've got our first mission within this chapter. We need to collect 2 insights, which basically are other sort of mini missions within this mission. And when we've collected those 2, we can then move on to card 2 in the story. Right, first thing we're going to do is draw 3 cards from our hunter's hand. And the 3 cards that we've drawn are a stagger, and a draw 1. Now, in this particular case, there isn't really anything we need to do except start to explore. So we're just going to have our discard pile here. We will discard. I'm gonna keep this draw 1. So just in case we find a monster and decide to attack it straight away, this draw 1 allows me to play this into one of the slots on my trick weapon card. Oh, I do apologise for the glare. Allows me to play it into one of these. The moment I play it to attack, for example, I get to draw another card that turn. So it's quite useful. We'll keep that one for now. And then obviously these 2 are identical, so it doesn't matter what we do with these. We will discard one of them to move our hunter. We take the tile. I'm going to basically head this way. Doesn't really matter, but I'll head that way. We're going to take this tile, and it's the courtyard lamp. Now we know if we land on the courtyard lamp and stop there, we can continue the story. Do I want to do that? Let's just pop it down and have a think. What do I want to do right now? Do I want to just get more tiles on the board? Or do I want to trigger one of these mission activities? I think I will just continue to explore a bit. So we get to move 2 spaces. The spaces are basically indicated by these white dividing lines. So there's no white dividing line here, but I'm moving tile to tile. So that would be 1, 2. Then I will draw another card. Okay, and I can choose which way I wish to put this. And I will put it this way. I have to move into the space, and you will have noticed, I hope, if you're paying attention, you'll have noticed the symbols here and here. The green chest one is obviously a chest. This one is the first monster we're going to place. We look at our enemy's board and we look for that symbol. There it is, Hunter's Mob. We grab a Hunter's Mob miniature. And we're now ready to go. We have to decide what we want to do. We moved in for 1, actually finish my 2 by going into this space with them. And then we're going to attack. I still got 1 card. I have this 1 card, the one I said I would keep for just this situation. We're looking at the Hunter's Mob, who have a health of 4. Now you can see with my trick weapon, I decided to start it. I didn't actually really decide, to be honest. I just left it this way because that's how it was. We can see we've got 2 quick attacks, but they only do 1 damage, and we've got 1 medium attack here, which does 2 damage. We need to kill them with 4. You can see that they are pretty slow. Their basic is medium. I think our best chance here to get rid of them, we're probably going to take some damage. We also, if they do a basic attack, we can expend our firearm to effectively stop us from receiving any harm. So what I'm going to do is play this into my slash medium speed. I don't have stagger, unfortunately. In fact, no, I'm going to play it into quick cut because I get to draw another card, which means if I'm lucky, I might get one of my stagger cards. So I'll draw another card. Oh, okay, it's another draw another card. I'll just keep that to the side. Now, we're attacking the enemy. We will turn over the top of the enemy action cards, and we see that it is a basic attack. Now we have a choice here. We can expend our pistol, which will stop him from doing any harm to us, and will allow us to simply do our damage to him, which I think we'll do. So we'll turn that over. That pistol is now expended, and we will have to either discard a card to refresh it or wait until we go to the Hunter's Dream and refresh it there. We will take a blood token, a 1, and we will put it over on the enemy miniature so we know what's going on. And then we'll come back and we'll decide what we're going to do next. I am going to expend the next card that I got, and this time I'm going to put it on, I'm going to put it on quick cut again. Now again I get to draw a card, so I will draw another card, and it's another draw 1. So I will put that to the side. Now let's see what the enemy is doing this time. So we're attacking again with a quick cut. This time it's going to use the Hunter's Mob ability. So we have to look at their card down at the bottom here, and we have to see, what does it say? It says at 1 arrow, so that's the slowest speed, before the hunter's attack, move Hunter's Mob 1 space away. All hunters in the space it left must then dodge or suffer 3 damage. Oh, now that's unfortunate. So basically, let's move over here. They're going to move 1 space away. Take their blood token with them. There we go. So they've moved 1 space away before the hunter's attack, which means I don't even get to do the 1 damage. And then all hunters in the space it left must dodge at 2 arrows or suffer 3 damage. Now you'll notice the card I have left does not have the keyword dodge on it. There are cards that do. This is not one of them, so it's impossible for me to dodge, which means that whatever I want to do, I am going to have to lose 3 health. I can keep that card though, because you know, the one that I haven't used, it hasn't got dodge, but fair enough, I can't do anything with it. And now that's the end of my go attacking this creature. Now the creature will activate, and it will move, well, this Hunter's Mob, sorry, it's not a creature, it's a mob, but this Hunter's Mob will move back 1, because that's what the AI says they do. They always move up to 1 space, and it will now attack me. Now, I am allowed, in this game, what I really like about this is, I've got a card, so I can choose to attack. So I can do that, and I can draw another card, because I'm using it in that, I'm using it, you know, it's not a dodge or something. I get this, basic +1, so I'll put that to the side. I can't do anything with that this go. And now the enemy will draw their next attack card, which is a basic. I can't use my pistol, because it's already been used. Their basic attack is a speed 2 for 2 damage. My attack here is also a speed 2 for 2 damage, so we're both going to take 2 damage. So I have to take 2 more blood points off me. I've now only got 1 left, and put 2 next to them. They're now on 3. Now this is an interesting point in the game, because it's now my turn again. So I have to move the tracker on one and decide what I wish to do. You'll notice, by the way, that we don't put these cards back, etc. We wait until we've turned the last one and then shuffle them. It's just something to remember. I only have one left and all of my slots are full. I think, you know, oh, I've forgotten one important step. I have one card still in my hand, if you remember. I need to draw another 2 to bring me back up to 3. Oh, this one has got a dodge. That would have been useful if we had it before, but never mind. I have 3 cards now and I can decide what I wish to do. To me, the most sensible option, I believe, is to go to the Hunter's Dream. So I come over here with my miniature, plop him down there. First thing I have to remember to do is move this on one. I have no Blood Echoes tokens. I haven't killed anybody yet, so I can't get any of the upgrade cards. What it does mean is that if we come back over here, it means that I take the 3 cards that I have in my hand, the 2 that I drew and the 1 that I had from before. I take the 3 cards off my weapon slots. I put my pistol back how it should be. I put my health back. 2, 5, 6. Put my health back. I take these cards and the ones I haven't drawn yet and the 2 that I've drawn and used, and then I simply shuffle these up. Okay, they're ready to go again. And the last thing I have to decide is which way do I want this to be when I come back. I think I'm going to put it on this side because if I kill them, even if I take some damage, I'll get some back, but I'll also get to draw another card, which means I'll be able to keep moving. So I think I'm going to do that. So now we come back over here. We moved it on one because we went into the dream. We move it one more. Now notice the next time this moves, it's going to refresh, which means that all the damage I've done to the Hunter's Mob will be removed and the Hunter's Mob will go back to full strength, which obviously we don't want to have to deal with it again. So I am going to choose to respawn my character at this lamp. You can respawn at any active lamp. And now we go back to our normal activity. We draw 3 cards for our hand. 2, 3. Okay, this one will do 1 extra blood if we use it as an attack. I will discard that one over there, and I will now use that discarded card for 2 moves. 1, 2. I am going to let the monster come to me. So I'm gonna keep these 2 cards and I'm gonna let the monster move into me in its activation. So it is going to move in by 1 space. Okay, it's going to start its attack. Now I am going to attack by putting a card in the quick cut. Let's see what he is going to do, or that group is going to do. Oh, they're going to do their special. Okay. Let's have a look at what their special is. Rifle shot. It's slow, which means it's a speed 1. It does 4 damage and stun. However, they're never going to get a chance to do that attack because my attack that I chose to do is speed 3, which is going to inflict the final piece of damage on them first. Is going to take them off the board because they're now dead. It's going to take a Blood Echo token for me, which goes in here. And we mustn't forget that was a draw 1, so I get to draw 1 more card back into my hand. So we've dispatched our first enemy. We have our Blood Echo. We now want to start a new turn. Now this is where the game can be quite painful. You'll notice now as we start a new turn, we go into the red area. What does that mean? That means that our good friend the Hunter's Mob that we just got rid of is immediately back. We already have 2 cards still in our hand from the last go. We take one more card to bring us back up to 3. And we now... Oh, well, we would have drawn this card anyway, actually. I just realised it says on a kill, draw 1, heal 1, which I'd forgotten, but we didn't need to heal 1. We've got our 3. We're ready to go. As you can see, the Hunter's Mob is right there with us. I think I'm going to move. I don't really want to fight them all over again. Time is ticking. So I will discard one of my stack cards. We'll get rid of that basic one. Put it up on our discard pile. And I'm going to move back across this way. 1, 2. They will follow me 1. And then I'm going to discard another card to move over to the left. So that's 1. What card is it we're going to get? It is the ransacked house. Okay, so we put this like this. It's the only door in. And of course I have to finish my move on here. Now then, let's take a closer look. We have got 2 chest tokens. We have got a Hunter's Mob token. And we also have this symbol here, which when we look at our enemy cards, we see is right here. It's a Scourge Beast. Great. So we will place a Scourge Beast there. Now we've finished a move on the ransacked house. This is where you have to remember to just check these cards occasionally. So if you recall, is that in focus? I hope that's in focus. End a move on the ransacked house, reveal card 12. So we go to our stack. We look for card 12. It's an insight mission. So remember, we need 2 of these successfully finished to be able to complete the hunt mission. As you enter the ransacked house, you catch sight of a young girl hiding in the corner from the monsters stalking her. Once these creatures are dispatched, she can be rescued. Once these creatures are dispatched, she can be rescued. Place 1 survivor token. This is our survivor token. So we're going to place 1 survivor token on the ransacked house. Interact with the survivor token to reveal card 13. Can't interact until we've dispatched the monsters. So we put our survivor on here. We have 1 card left, which is, it is a dodge card. So at this point we have to decide what we're going to do. We've still got all our health. I think we will keep this card and we will let the enemy come to us. Okay, we've got 2 enemy, both equal distance from us, so we simply use the order on here to dictate which one will activate first. This one, then this one, then this one. So it's going to be the Scourge Beast. We haven't got Hunter's Minion, followed by the Hunter's Mob. You can see, quick look at the Scourge Beast tells you there we've got a very quick basic action, a very slow special, and an ability, Bestial Howl, at very slow speed before the hunters attack, spawn 1 Scourge Beast in this space. Oh, there's also a little note here. It says Scourge Beasts move 2 when activating or pursuing. That makes them particularly unpleasant, because even if I'd chosen to move 2 away, 1, 2, with my last card, it would have actually followed, and then when it activates it would have come in the same space. So there's no escaping this thing. Right, first to activate is the Scourge Beast. It's going to come into my space. I am not going to... Am I going to attack? I'm not going to attack. I'm going to keep this as a dodge to see what attack the beast makes on me. So we'll turn this over. It does a basic. Okay, well, as it's doing a basic, I'm going to expend my pistol, which doesn't cost me anything. So that is not going to do me any harm at all, which means I've kept my dodge, because the next enemy to activate is going to be the Hunter's Mob. Let's see. Again, I'm not going to put a card down, so I'm not going to do any damage here, but let's see what their attack is. Their attack is a special. We need to see what their special says. Their special is the rifle shot. It's very slow, does a lot of damage. The nice thing here is that I can dodge it. All I have to do is put this in a slot which has either the same speed or faster, and I will be able to dodge them. I think we'll put it in the slash, and it also says clear this slot, so I dodge them, I clear that slot, put it in my discard pile, and that is the end of another turn. We move the tracker on. We have flipped all our monsters' activation cards, enemy activations, so we need to mix those up. Do next. It's my turn now to decide what I'm going to do. I'm going to take 3 cards now to fill my hand. Okay, that's interesting. I think I'm going to attack the Hunter's Mob with a slash to do 2 damage, and it's also got stagger. Now the beauty of stagger is that if the opposing attack from the Hunter's Mob is slower, then basically it's not going to do anything at all. So let's see what they're going to do. They're doing a basic, that's great. So their basic is, it's not slower though. Their basic is only a speed 2. I'll bring it over here. It's a speed 2, does 2 damage. My attack here is also a speed 2. If theirs had been slower, the stagger would have meant that I didn't take any damage from them. I'm going to take 2 damage from them, but they're going to also take 2 damage from me. So I put that on there. With my next card, I am going to do heavy carve. It's really the only choice I've got. Notice it says clear this slot. So I'm going to do the heavy carve, and then after I'm going to be able to clear that slot. And I'm going to attack the Scourge Beast this time. Now the Scourge Beast is quicker than me, I get that, so I'm probably going to take some damage, but at least I'm going to do some damage as well. So turn over the card and see what it's going to do. It's going to do the special. The special is Pin and Gnaw. It does 4 damage, and it says stun, cannot be dodged. Oh dear, this is not looking good for me. I've done heavy carve at speed 1. He's done a speed 1 Pin and Gnaw. I'm going to do 3 damage to the Scourge Beast, so we get a 3. Put it over here on the Scourge Beast, keep track of that. Unfortunately, at this point there's nothing I can do, because now he's going to land his attack, which is 4. I only had 4 left. I have died. Now this does happen. It's better to go to the Hunter's Dream voluntarily than to be killed, because now the Blood Echo that I'd won is discarded. I don't get to upgrade. Instead, I have to go back to the Hunter's Dream. So let's remind ourselves what we do. We collect up all of our cards. The unused, the used, and the discards. We mix those up again so we don't know what order we're getting them. We take our miniature and we put it over here in the Hunter's Dream. We have to move this on 1 because we've come into the Hunter's Dream. We reset our pistol, ready to go again. We put our health back. That's 3 and 6. We are now ready to start a new turn, and we can go back to any space which has a lamp. So I've gone back to the central courtyard. I need to draw myself a hand of 3 cards. There we go, I have a hand of 3. I'm actually going to start with my card this way around, which is whenever you come from the Hunter's Dream, you're allowed to choose which way you want your card. So I've now got 2 quick attacks here. I only need 1 to kill the beast, the Scourge Beast. So which card shall I keep? I don't really need to have this +1. I just want to get rid of the Scourge Beast, and then I should be able to kill the Hunter's Mob with a slash. So I'm going to discard this one to move. Okay, to move 1, 2. I'm going to immediately attack the Scourge Beast, and I'm going to do that with this basic +1 in a quick cut, which is a speed 3. If we remind ourselves with the Scourge Beast, the fastest attack on here is a 3, so even if it gets a basic, we're going to both take damage effectively, but it will kill the beast. So enemy activation there. It's a special, which is brilliant for us because the special is a speed 1. My attack is a speed 3. I do 2 damage, although I only need 1 to kill it. So the Scourge Beast is dead before it gets a chance to land its attack. That's one of the things I really like about this game, is that speed matters. I'm going to get my token for killing it. I'm going to place that in my Blood Echoes. I'm not going to take any damage at all, which is terrific. And I'm now going to turn my attention on the Hunter's Mob, who only have 2 left. I'm going to use this card. Now notice this card says stagger, and this side, my weapon attacks with stagger deal +1 damage. I need to deal them 2 damage to kill them. 1, 2. This is excellent. I get to do a super fast attack. 2 damage if I land it. Let's see what they get. They get a basic. Their basic attack is a speed 2, 2 damage. They're never going to get a chance to even land that attack because they're dead before they even get to swing. Remove them from the board, take the blood tokens off, pop. Give myself another Blood Echo for having killed that. I have no cards left in my hand, so even though I've dispatched those enemies and moved in, I cannot interact in this space, which is what I need to interact in order to get the insight, or at least to move the story on. I have to wait now until my next turn. I will come back to that shortly. So here we are. We are ready for the next turn. Move the counter on. Draw my 3 cards. Basic, stagger and a dodge. We'll keep the dodge just in case something happens, and we will use the well, let's use the basic with the +1. We discard that so that we can move. So if we go back over to the board, we can now move into the space, and now we need to spend a further card. We'll keep the dodge just in case something happens. We will get rid of this one, and that allows us to interact. Now, when I understand you interact, we pick up both of these items, which means we get 2 consumables. So if I bring you over here, we come to our consumable pack. We get the fire paper, which means we can use this on an attack to get an extra blood. We also get the sedative, which means during our hunter's turn we can draw 1 card and remove 1, whatever that token is. That must be something that comes along in a later chapter. So we'll take these consumables, put them over next to our board, just here where we can see them easily and they're not in the way. And of course, if you remember our mission, we've now interacted with this space. If I remind you of this card, the Insight mission, interact with the survivor token, reveal card 13. So we're ready to reveal card 13. Rescue. You approach the girl cautiously, Suddenly she bursts past you, darting out into the street, her eyes wide with fear. Move the survivor token 4 spaces away. She may reveal tiles during this move. At the end of each turn, she moves 1 space away from the nearest hunter, but no longer reveals tiles. Complete this mission by ending a move on the space with the survivor token and have no enemies pursue into that space. So, that's just great, isn't it? So she's going to move 4 spaces away. Let's see if you can see much of the board. There we go. So, here she is. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll put her in the courtyard. So I have interacted, and now I have to decide what to do with my go. I've got 1 card left, if you remember. I'm going to use this card to return to the Hunter's Dream. And there's a couple of reasons for that. If I move 2 spaces to chase after the young lady, 1, 2, then I would be in this tile, which means that the Hunter's mob over here, during their activation, would move 1 space closer towards me, meaning that they would stay in this tile. Then I move into here to be with her, and they're going to move again to pursue me as I move. Really, I don't need them following me around. So instead, I will return to the Hunter's Dream. So I expend that card. I come to the Hunter's Dream. I immediately have to move the token on, and it moves onto a reset. So we take all the monsters that may be on the board, like these, return them to full health and put them back in their spawning place. And over here, that means we need a Hunter's mob there and a Scourge Beast. No other monsters need to be placed. Okay, I can take all of my cards and we need to put them back into a single deck. I'm not going to shuffle them this time, and I'll show you why in a second. We've already got all of our health, but we have got 2 blood echoes. So now that we are here in the Hunter's Dream, we can spend these 2 blood echoes to have 2 of these upgrade cards. Now, I always spend them 1 at a time, because as you take a card, you replace it, you may actually get a better card, you know, on the one that you get back. So I always just take them 1 at a time. Now this is where the game gets interesting, because based on what you like and what you think is going to help you in the way you play, you choose the cards that suit you. So some people are going to always go for stuff which gives them extra blood on an attack. I personally like this card. When used to move 3 spaces. So this is a great card for covering some extra distance. And remember, if you play this game like a campaign and you go through each chapter, you're going to keep these cards as you go along, and they're going to make you stronger and stronger, and you know, in the way that you want to be. If you want to be faster, if you want to be more violent, it's up to you. So we get rid of 1 of our blood tokens for that card. We take another upgrade card and replace that, and now we have to decide which of these 4 we want to spend our last blood echo on, and we will spend it on, looks like a good one. The way I read this is that if I use this to attack, I can draw 1 and clear the slot. So that's useful. It means effectively you get to attack and clear the slot and then still have another card in your hand. So there we go. We have done that. We need to, pistol is okay. We need to decide which side we want this to be on. Let's see. I'm going to come back into the central lamp here, so I'm effectively going to be right next to this young lady, and I don't know what monster I might encounter next, so I think I'm going to start with it on this one where I have a bit more options to do a bit more damage. Next thing we have to do, and this is why I didn't shuffle these cards, is we have these 2 new cards, but your hunter's deck can only ever have 12. So you have to decide which of these you are least interested in retaining. I think I'm going to get rid of those 2. don't think I'm too interested in keeping those. So these cards will go back and will not be used for this player character again as long as I use this character through the following missions if I wish to progress. And then I mix the two new cards in and give it a good shuffle up. Okay, and we have our new Hunter's deck. What else do I need to do? We need to, of course, move the game on by 1 token because we're starting a new turn. Actually, I'm going to spawn back here because it says I need to end a move on the space with her. If I just arrive there, I haven't technically done a move, so I don't think that would count. So I'm going to spawn there. I'm then going to draw my 3 cards for my hand. I'm going to use this one to discard. That's going to be my move. I'm only going to move 1, but that's fine. So I'm ending my move with her. So it says complete this mission by ending a move on the space with the survivor token and have no enemies pursue into that space. Well, no enemies are going to pursue because I wasn't in the same tile. Now I can reveal card 14. Rescue. You grip the girl's arm, keeping her from further flight. I'm not infected, please let me go, she pleads, tugging at your grip. Now that she is close, the girl does indeed reek of the beast stench, though whether this is from the plague or the blood covering her is undeterminable. Choose 1 to complete this mission. Now this is where we have to decide, either strike the girl down and reveal card 15, or spare her and order her to flee, reveal card 16. I'm in this to kill monsters, not survivors, so I'm going to go for card 16. Here we go. Right, the hunter that completed this mission gains 1 consumable and the Carol Rune Eye reward. So let's just get that. So I get 1 consumable. Just take it off the top of the barrel. Antidote. Okay, put that with my other consumables. And I get the Carol Rune Eye, which is right there. Okay, let's see what that does. Hunter's turn. Discard 1 card from your hand to return 1 card from your discard. A transcription of I, as spoken by left behind great ones, allows one to make. So the way these cards work, some of them have sort of permanent passive kind of effects, so you don't have to actually actively do something. This one's clearly discard a card to do something. It only renews when you go back to the Hunter's Dream. You can't spend a card to renew it. Okay, so let's read the rest of the text here and see what happens. So we've got our consumable, we've got our rune. You lock eyes with the young girl and glimpse her humanity and fear. Odeon Chapel is all you say before releasing your grip. Between sobs she nods before darting off into the night. So what I like to do is I like to take my cards that I was telling you. I've got the stack here, so this is the mission that we were just on, and I like to basically put those into a stack like this, and then we see that this one is finished. This 1 insight mission here, rescue, is finished. So we now need to collect another one of those, because if you remember we need 2, and we are past halfway, so we're going to have to speed up a little bit. Now it does say here, if I look at these, that we can end a move on the courtyard lamp tile, and that is going to progress the story as well. So for me it would seem like that is as good a time as any. Yeah, let's use one of our cards, put it in our discard pile. Let's move into the courtyard. And we're going to finish our move there. We don't have to move 2 spaces. We finished our move. So this is going to move our story along again. So on the courtyard lamp tile, reveal card 5. Okay, let's find card 5. An insight mission. Great, that's what we need. On the hunt. Entering, you find a large mob of townsfolk all gathered around a blazing pyre constructed in the centre of the courtyard. Upon it lie the bodies of numerous scourge beasts. Suddenly, from behind you hear shouting, "More infected!" as the mob begins to surround you. We're going to reveal card 6. We're going to surround the courtyard lamp tower with fog gates, and we're going to spawn a hunter mob on the lamp, and it will respawn on this space whenever we get a reset. So there's a few things there we need to do. So first of all, I'll just move the camera so you can see. First of all, I'm going to get a fog token, cover the doorway, another fog token, basically covering each doorway into the central courtyard. Now, those will prevent any other creatures that might be nearby from moving into the courtyard with us. We also need to spawn a hunter's mob. There we go, our hunter's mob is spawned. What else does it say on here? Whoop, sorry. It says that we will complete this mission by slaying this hunter's mob, at which point we'll reveal card 7, but we must remember it says reveal card 6 here. So, the Horde. Place 1 insight token on this card. If there are 3 or more hunters, place 1 additional token. When the hunter's mob would be slain, instead remove 1 token and heal all the wounds from it. All tokens are returned on a reset. So effectively what we're saying is that it's like a mini boss. We have to effectively do 8 blood damage instead of the normal 4. So I'll grab an insight token. That's these things. They look like a... Oh, there you go. They look like a skull with smoke coming out of it. We'll put that here where we can keep an eye on it. Well, I have 1 card. We have to remember we've turned over a few of these enemy cards. Now, we're not allowed to go back and look at them, but you can try and remember there's 3 basics, 2 specials and 1 ability. I think we've had the ability. I think we might have had the 2 specials. No, I'm not sure. So I'm sure one of these is a basic. I think I'm going to attack just to try and get some damage done to this hunter's mob. I'm going to use heavy carve. It's a 1 speed, but whatever we do here, if they get a basic, we're okay because of our pistol. Otherwise, we're going to take damage whatever, so I just want to do as much damage to them as I can. So let's see. What are they going to do? They're going to do a basic. Great. So we can use our pistol to negate their basic. Oh, I always want to flip those straight over. There we go. So they don't do any damage to us, and we will do 3 damage to them. That's the end of my turn. I have no more cards, and that means, as any of you might have thought, I am helpless now to defend against what they do next. So it's their turn. Let's see what they do. So let me bring you over here so you can see. It's the enemy activation. Any enemy within 1 tile will activate. Now, it doesn't really mean if they can't come through the fog, but even so, I will move them all in the one that they're allowed to. Like so. This hunter's mob doesn't need to move, it's already in the same space as me. So they will just move straight into the attack. I have no more cards in my hand, so there's nothing I can do to help me. So all I can do is see what they're going to turn over. It's their ability. Ability, Molotov's Toss. At a very slow speed before the hunter's attack, move the hunter mob warp space away. All hunters in the space it left must then dodge or suffer 3 damage. So, doesn't matter which way it moves, it's going to move 1 away. Keep that with it. And I can't dodge, I have no cards to dodge. I'm going to suffer the 3 blood damage. Okay. It's that time again. Move the tracker along. Renew my hand. 3 cards. Whoop. 2, 3. I now have 3 cards. Okay. Well, I think what I'm going to do is attack. I'm going to use this one so that I can put it into slash, which means I also get to draw another card, which is a dodge, which is nice. So I keep that. We used all 6 of the enemy action cards, so we now need to mix those up. I don't see any point in me wasting one of my 3 cards to move, because all that's going to happen is they're going to move straight back to me. So I'm going to just keep my 3 cards to use in the attacks and to help me finish off this this hunter's mob. So come back here, they will just move straight back into the courtyard with me. There they are. I will use quick cut as mine, which I also get to clear this slot. I forgot to clear that slot, didn't I? Apologies. You see that one? So actually I won't use that, I'll use that, and we can clear this slot after. So let's see what they do. So I'm doing a slow move which would do 3 damage. They do a basic, just as a reminder, and I'll keep showing you, but their basic is a speed of 2, doing 2 damage, so they will land their 2 damage first. Unless, oh, I don't have a dodge. So they will land their 2 damage first. I'm now down to 1. But I will then land my 3 damage on them, which means they only have 4 health. One of those damage makes 4, which means we can get rid of that insight token. That leaves 2 damage on them. Oop. So we put the 2 damage on just so we can keep track. And now we need to decide what we're going to do. We've got 2 cards left. They have had their attack, which means that it's now my turn. We have to move the tracker on again. We have to renew our hand up to 3. I've now got a dodge. We have to decide what we're going to do to finish them off. I need 2. Oh, this slot will clear, of course. I keep forgetting to do that. Clear this slot, so I keep forgetting. I think we will spend 1 card. This one, I'm going to assume I'm not going to need dodge. I'm going to spend 1 card to flip this over to the other side. Now I have to discard. Now you'll notice here, it's always important to remember the special skills. Attacks with stagger deal +1 blood. This has stagger. These are very fast as well. With a little bit of luck, this could be the end of this opponent. So I will do a quick cut with stagger for 2 damage at a speed of 3. What is the enemy going to do? A special. Okay. What is the special? Well, I have to say the special this time is really good for us. It's a slower speed. It's 4 damage, which would kill us, but it's a slower speed, which means our 2 damage is going to kill this hunter's mob before they get a chance to land their own blow. Put that back there. Get rid of those. So it's gone. We're going to give ourselves a blood echo, put it on the board. But we have now killed that hunter's mob, which means we need to go back to our insight mission. Complete this mission by slaying this hunter's mob and reveal card 7. Distribute the hand lantern, which is a reward card, so it's not a consumable, and Ludwig's rifle firearm among the hunters. It says, driven to frenzy by the early stages of the infection, the townsfolk are compelled to partake in the hunt, believing that by eradicating the beasts the plague will be quelled as well. From their remains you gather what useful supplies you can find. Hand lantern, there we go. Let's have a quick look. On the hunter's turn you can teleport to any space. This hunting accessory provides light while leaving both hands free to hold weapons. Now, one thing you have to remember is you're only allowed to have 2 runes and 2 hunter's tools, which is what they call those, in your hand at any time. The rest you can spread out amongst the rest of the hunter's party as you wish. We've basically finished this insight mission as well. So I put this over to the side. If you remember, I was saying I keep them over here. So we've now got 2 insight missions complete. And if you remember this card, it said that all we have to do is end a move on the central lamp tile after you have collected at least 2 insights. And then we reveal card 2. So I put that on there. There's our 2. Of course, over on the board, we mustn't forget, we need to remove the door fogs, like so. Now, I don't have much health left, so I think what I'm going to do is spend my last card to go back to the Hunter's Dream. So we'll come back to the Hunter's Dream. There we are. We have 1 Blood Echo token, so I get to pick one of these cards. Oh, we must remember to do that as well. Whenever you go to the Hunter's Dream, always move it along 1. It's a reset, so we'll put these guys back where they were. Now then, which ones do we fancy? This one shouldn't be there. I don't know how a basic card has got onto an upgrade one. Let's just... Right, okay. Let's see. We can only pick one. This one looks like a good card. If I read this right, let's see. When used for a non-attack action, heal 2. So if I use this to flip my weapon, refresh my pistol, or move, I get to heal 2 health. I think that's a pretty good choice, so I'm going to go for that. And then we'll put that there. We'll come back over here. Right, we need to renew our cards, we need to renew our health back to 3, put the pistol back. We'll decide which side we're going to put this on in a second. First of all, I need to sort out my Hunter's deck. So I'll take this, just double check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now I'm going to put my new card in, which means I have to take out one of the old cards. I quite like these draw ones, I think they're good. Stagger is quite useful with this particular character. I'd normally get rid of it, but quite useful. Dodge, dodge, dodge. I think I'm going to have to get rid of that. I'd rather have the staggers than worry about this. So we will get rid of that. That goes into our basic cards. We won't see that again for this character. And our second win goes in. So now we just mix these up. Okay. We've returned to Hunter's Dream. We've reset the board. We now start our next turn, which means we're going to move this on. We're going to put our character, let's move that survivor out of the way. We're going to start at the central lamp this time. We're going to put our hand of 3 cards, like so. Now if you remember the hunt mission, we have our 2 insights. End a move on the central lamp tile after you have collected at least 2 insights and reveal card 2. So here we go, guys. I will just, I don't know, I'll expend one of these dodge cards. 1, 2, well, do you know what? I'll just finish it there. We're ending on that central lamp tile. We will go to the mission card number 2. Source of the Scourge. Your senses flare at the sound of rapid moving claws. You turn just in time as a scourge beast much larger than the rest leaps at you, its eyes glowing a haunting blue. Reveal card 3. Pack Alpha. Place, remember this is how many hunters are this symbol, so that's 1. Place 1 insight tokens on this card. When the scourge beast would be slain, instead remove 1 token and heal all of the health from it. All tokens are returned on a reset. Replace its ability. Okay, so the ability that's on the enemy card, we're not going to use that, we're going to use this. Scourge Beast makes 1 quick swipe attack. It cannot be staggered. It deals +1 blood and gains stagger and stun. So there is the insight token, one of them, because there's only one hunter. Let's read the rest of this card now. Surround the central lamp tile with fog gates. Okay, well we've been here before. We know what we're doing here. We're going to get our little fog tiles and block each doorway. Not that it really matters because we haven't exposed much more of the map. Okay. Same time with fog gates, spawn one scourge beast on the central spot. Okay, we've done that, one scourge beast. It respawns to this space on that, and we complete the hunt by slaying this scourge beast. So really, this is the end of this first mission. If we manage to succeed here. So I'll put the card over to the side again, as I was saying. And now we just need to decide what to do. Now I ended my move here. I'm going to do something that you might consider a bit naughty, but it's really, I left him there, but I'm going to put him there because I could have gone 1-2. I just left it there really so we could see the central space, but I'm going to do that. If you think that's cheating, that's fine. It's too late at night for me to care. I've got 2 cards left in my hand. I think the best thing I can do with this Scourge Beast, remember it's got 1 fast attack and it's got a special pin and claw attack. I think I am going to go for this slash, which is worth 3 damage with a stagger card. And this is where we need a little bit of luck. So let's see what the... Oh, let me just make sure you can see that okay. Yeah, let's see what the enemy is going to do. They're going to do a basic, that's perfect. Because when the enemy does a basic attack, I can exhaust my pistol. So their attack is not going to do anything. Now I can then apply my 3 damage to this critter. There we go, put the 3 on. Now I have a choice. I have one card left. So I'm not going to use this to attack. I'm going to just keep this. So that's the end of my turn. It's now the beast's turn. It's already in the same space, so it's not going to move. Yeah, it's already in the same space. Otherwise I couldn't have attacked it. And it's going to attack me. Now I'm not going to put this down in an attack slot. I'm going to keep this for dodging. So let's see what attack it comes at me with. Right, it comes with its ability, so we need to use the ability from this card. The Surge Beast makes 1 quick swipe attack. It cannot be staggered. Okay, so that means, you know, if we've got a card with stagger on, it doesn't matter. It deals +1 damage, so instead of 2 it would do 3, and it gains stagger and stun if it lands. But I only need to dodge at a speed 3. I have my dodge card. I'm going to play my dodge card there at speed 3, and I am going to dodge that attack, which means no damage this time. That's the end of the Scourge Beast's turn. It's now my turn. We have to move this on. We're getting very close to the end of the game here, so we better hope that we get some good cards here that allow us to finish this monster off. Right, we've got stagger, stagger, and draw 1. Oh, remember, I do this every time, don't I? This has got clear this slot. So I can clear the slot after using that card. Now I must say, I couldn't find anything in the instructions to make it clear whether you can use this clear slot or not. To me, it seems like if you attack with this card, you would clear the slot, and if you dodge with this card, I don't see any reason you wouldn't clear the slot as well. That's the way I play. If somebody thinks that's incorrect, or if somebody watching this knows the rules and has found the bit I've missed, do please let me know. But that's the way I play it. Okay, so we are going to attack with stagger, with a quick cut to do 2 damage. See what the enemy does. The enemy gets a special. The special attack, I keep bringing this up just to remind everybody. Special attack is slow speed with 4, and it's got stun. Stun is a pain. So let's work this out. So combat wise, I'm faster, which means I do my damage first. It's 1, but I get +1 because of the stagger. So I do 2 damage to the beast, which takes it, 1 of the damage takes it past, we get rid of the token, and then there's 1 left against the remaining 4 health of it, so it's now down to 3. So I've done my damage. Now it's going to do 4 damage. I can't dodge it, it says it can't be dodged. And stun, if I don't have a card to discard, so luckily I do have 2 cards, so I have to discard one of my cards. I'm going to discard I'm going to discard this basic card. If I didn't discard a card and it has stun, it means I take an additional damage, but now I have to very painfully remove the 4 damage that it's just done. I now only have 2 left. If I go into the Hunter's Dream, I can replenish everything, get my health back, etc. But I would literally have 1 turn left to try and kill this beast and finish the game. In fact, I'm not even sure I'd be able to do that, because it would move on 1 for me going there, and it wouldn't be. No, I think this is it. I think I have to stay here for my turn. Oh no, this is not good news. Okay, this might be another situation where I die unsuccessful in the mission. We have to move this on now for a new turn, which is a reset, which means that this is going to reset. Now the way I read this is it goes back to this, and it goes back to its insight token. That's how there you go, all tokens are returned on a reset. So it's back at full strength, and I have got a hand that is almost useless now, and I don't think it's possible for me to actually finish off this beast in this last turn, but you know what, we'll fight to the very end. This is my new hand. Second wind, when used for a non-attack action, heal 2. So I'm going to use this to flip this card over. Okay, get rid of those 2 and heal 2. That at least gives me a slim chance of staying alive for a little while. Now that I've done that, really I have no choice at all here of what to do. I'm going to have to do a heavy carve and see what the monster gets. Let's see what happens. So it gets a basic. Basic does 2 damage, so it's going to get its 2 damage first. But then, oh, and in case you're wondering, the stagger would only stop you from getting damage if your attack is faster than the opponent's. So in this case, I've 1 arrow, which is slow. Their basic attack is 3 arrows, that's very quick. So my stagger is not going to trigger. It will take the 3 damage from me. 3 damage. Now all I've got left is this. Clear this slot. Well, I'm going to put it here. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this fire paper to give it +1. What else can I do? I'm also going to use this, which says Hunter's turn, draw 1 card. So I'm going to draw a new card to my hand. This might help us. Draw 1 card to my hand and remove 1 token. I don't have a token. Now when you use a consumable and you're playing on through the missions, you keep this in a discard pile. It doesn't go back. It only goes back if you exhaust all of the consumables, and at which point you would reshuffle all of the discarded consumables. I'm also going to use this antidote to draw 1 card. I'm giving myself as much chance as I can here. So that goes into a discard pile. So here we go. I've now got 2 cards left to continue attacking with. I'm going to do extra damage with this one. Let's see what happens here. So I've gone in with a slash for 3 damage. We need to shuffle the monster cards. Right, this could be it. This could be win or die now, so let's see what it does. It does a basic. Its basic does 2 damage. I can... Do I just take... Well, I can't take the 2 or I die. So I am going to dodge the basic, because that's the same speed, so I can dodge it, and I get to clear this slot. I'm going to do my slash damage, which is going to be 3 because of the 2 plus the 1, and I also get to clear this slot. Okay, which means that it takes 3 damage, so 1 takes it to 4, which gets rid of the token, and then we're left with 2 more damage on it. Now if I can do 2 more damage with this last go, we are in with a chance. I use this card. I've got to do that really, haven't I? I've got to get that too. So we're going in with the basic. I get to draw another card. This could be the lifesaver. And it's a dodge. That's excellent. It's a dodge. And we've got our fastest speed left available to us. Oh dear. Right, let's see what the monster does. It does a basic. Well, I have to say we're pretty lucky here. It would have been just as good if it had done its special actually, or its ability, because they're even slower. But I can use my dodge. Yep, I can use my dodge. And as I say, I always use this text. I always believe that using the card in this way, I can still clear this slot and draw one. Probably wrong, but this is how I've been playing the game. Draw one, if we use it. Dodge the attack. Now my slash is going to land doing the last 2 damage. This one only had 2 damage left. It leaves the board. We get our blood echo. Get rid of those. Get rid of the fog gates. And we have vanquished the beast. Let's read what happens now. Pack Alpha. Complete the hunt by slaying this Scourge Beast and reveal card 4. Card 4 says, Prey slaughtered, Scourge Alpha. Distribute the Bloodstone Shard and the Coral Rune Moon rewards among the hunters. Coral Rune Moon, right at the top here. When you are slain, keep 1 Blood Echo. It is immediately used when you go to the dream. Well, this is really nice because you just leave this one basically next to your board, and whenever you get slain, if you have got a Blood Echo, you're not going to lose all of them. You're going to at least keep 1, which is going to allow you to always at least get 1 upgrade, even when you die. So that's great. So we'll put that there. Now we've got 2 runes now next to our board. We can only have 2. Now we can obviously decide which 2 we want to have. I've only got 2, so I don't have to worry right now, but as we get more, we'll have to choose which ones we think are the best, and that's another element of tuning your character the way you want to, just to give it that little difference from maybe somebody else who's playing the same Sword Cleaver character. We also need to find the Bloodstone. Let's have a look at what that does. Place on an attack slot, may switch slot on transform, while on slot that attack deals +1. So basically you're going to sort of put this on an attack slot just to remind you which one you've put it on, and then whatever you put on there for an attack you're going to get the +1. And if you switch the card over, you can switch it to a different slot when you turn the card over. So that, again, that's a nice one. So we'll put that up here as a hunter's tool. So we've got 2 and 2 now. That would be all we can have. And that is the end of the hunt mission. There's nothing else to read. We've finished everything. Now, of course, we have got 1 card left, but anyway, I mean, the way I read this is it doesn't say anything in the instructions, at least that I could see, but I could use my last card here to go back to the Hunter's Dream, you know, spend that last token. To me, it seems like if you finish the mission, everything's good, then you would obviously get a chance to use your Blood Echoes. So we'll get one final upgrade card from this. This is, I think, a really nice one. It's often quite frustrating if you're one space away from enemies you want to attack and you have to waste an entire card to move one space and then attack. This will always be great if you get this, obviously if you're lucky enough to get this when you need it, but to make a move and then be able to attack just with the one card, I think that's a really great card to have. So we will bring that over. We'll have a look at our Hunter's hand. Let's put all the cards in. What are we going to discard in order to keep this? If you're really not sure, one thing I've found is that it's sometimes useful to just look at discarding a card of the same type. Now, you can see I've actually already got rid of all of the sort of strength arm symbol cards. So I think gives us a +1. Dodges are very useful with this character because he is a quick character and you have got the 3 on this side and 2 3s on the other, so I like to keep the dodge cards. So I think I'm going to have to get rid of one of these draw ones. I like to keep the staggers because obviously on one side of his card you're going to get the +1 damage with the stagger. So I think we'll get rid of that basic draw 1 card. So we get rid of that, we won't see that again for this character. And now we've got our new Hunter's Dream hand and we've finished the game. And we've succeeded in finishing the first part, if you like, the first mission, chapter 1. Now if you look at this particular game, because of the randomness of drawing out from the tiles, remember these? We had 3 tiles left that we didn't even get to. Because of the randomness of how this works, we actually managed to complete the entire mission with just these 4 cards, one of which was here at the start anyway, so we only actually investigated 3. And this is what's really cool. So this is now the 4th or 5th time I've played. I can't remember. I've died a couple of times. I've succeeded, I think, 3 times. So that, yeah, this must be the 5th. And on one of the games, I'd explored every single tile and I found 3 or 4 different missions. On this game, we've basically just done the ransack house sort of mission and the courtyard, if you remember, with the hunter's mob that appeared. That was our 2 insight missions, and then we finished off the Scourge Beast. There are multiple mini sub-missions, insight missions, to accomplish this first chapter 1 mission. So even though what you've seen is some of what you might need to do, if you happen to draw a different card, like the occupied house, for example, you would have got a different mission there. The Tomb of Odeon, you would have got a different mission there. And Odeon Chapel as well. Oh no, sorry, not the Tomb of Odeon, that's just a random card, but the Odeon Chapel, you would have got a different mission there as well. So I've played this 5 times and it's been a different combination and a different setup and different insight missions every single time. I've always ended up having to fight the hunter's mob in the middle, but I've never done the ransacked house before. So there's quite a lot of replayability, and like I say, and that's just playing with this one character. I hope that this has made it helpful for people. I found the instruction manual, it's simple and quite small, which is nice, but it leaves a little bit of ambiguity about certain things. And one thing I will say, if we just go back to these cards, if you remember, I said the one thing I was never sure about is when you use this dodge card, are you just using dodge? In other words, if I put this down, let me just pick this up. If I choose to dodge with this guy and I put it here, do I actually have to leave it here because I've just dodged and that's all I've done, and I don't get to use this text underneath where it says clear this slot? Is that how it's supposed to work? Or actually the way I've been playing it is whether I use this to attack or use it to dodge, I always get to execute the text underneath. So I've been playing it that way. What I will say, and this is how I justify it, out of 5 games I've lost twice. And if you remember this game, if you look at where the time token is, we literally were at the very, very last point. If we had had a slightly less favourable card on the very last turn, we would have been that one card away from failing the mission. So to me, I think playing with those, playing with the cards in the way I am doing, I'm getting a 3 out of 5 success rate, and that last one, as you can see, was right on the edge. A different card for the enemy or whatever, and we could have lost the game. So I feel that makes it seems balanced. Let me put it that way. It seems balanced to play it that way. I will keep investigating as I go along, and if it makes it too easy, then I may revisit that. But at the moment, I would say it's pretty much 50-50 whether you're going to win or not. And that's if you play with the cards in the way I'm doing. I hope this is helpful. If I've done it completely wrong, then I apologise, but certainly I couldn't find many videos on YouTube that explained how to play this game. Take care, guys. I hope if you've got a copy, you're enjoying it, and maybe if this video gets some success, I might do some other games that I've got, which I also think are quite hard to pick up and start playing. Well done indeed for sticking through this long video, which I really hope has helped. Those who have been watching and getting used to the rules will have noticed I did make a mistake. I didn't move the time tracker token on at the beginning of the second turn, and unfortunately, of course, what that means is I didn't actually win this game. I would have run out of time just one token space away from the end. So it's actually only 2 out of 5 games that I've managed to win, and that seems about right, because it's not supposed to be easy to get a victory every time. Anyway, if you've spotted anything else, please do let me know, and I will try and do a part 2 to this. I'll try and do it a bit quicker and move on to the next mission, where we might get to experience some of the other tokens, some of the other effects in the game. Take care, everybody, until next time.